Ever wonder if a chance encounter, a fleeting moment of connection, could change the course of history? Sounds almost magical, doesn't it? Curious if a brief meeting between seemingly unrelated people could shape the world you live in? Hey, did you know that not every major historical event comes from grand battles or famous treaties? Sometimes, it's just an unexpected encounter. Let's explore the fateful encounters of history where seemingly trivial meetings had the power to shift the entire course of events. Hard to believe. Number 5. The illiterate king meets paper, a collision of power and knowledge, 12th century. Picture medieval European kings, most unable to read. Ruling through strength and force, written records were rare. Knowledge was passed down, orally or scribbled on expensive parchment, accessible only to monks and nobles. Society lagged behind, but then, through the Crusades and trade with the Arab world, pop-era Chinese inventions started trickling into Europe. Some king or lord, maybe for the first time, touched a light, smooth, affordable sheet of paper, far cheaper than parchment, a moment of awe. This encounter wasn't just about a new materiality. Sparked a knowledge revolution. Cheap paper made writing and records widespread. Even if that king couldn't read, paper's arrival laid the groundwork for the spread of learning and, eventually, the printing revolution. Number 4. The talented quartet and the monk birthing the Renaissance, 15th century. In Florence, Italy, a small city buzzed with artists, architects, and scientists constantly crossing paths. Maybe Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Donatello. These 4 geniuses regularly met in workshops. What if they hadn't constantly mingled, swapped ideas, competed, and learned from each other? Would the Renaissance have happened? Even more crucial, they were often funded by popes and clergy. A meeting of art and religious power. This blend of explosive artistic vision and strong patronage produced timeless masterpieces that shaped Western art. If those talents hadn't converged in Florence, backed by the church's approval and funds, would there have been a Renaissance? It was the constant encounters between these geniuses and their clerical patrons that made Florence the cradle of the Renaissance. Number 3. The forgotten stone meets soldiers. The key to unlocking Egypt's treasures, 1799. For thousands of years, ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs were a mystery, unreadable to all. Then, during Napoleon's campaign in Egypt, French soldiers digging fortifications near Rosetta stumbled upon something. They found a large stone slab inscribed with the same text in 3 scripts: hieroglyphs, Demotic, and ancient Greek. What's this thing? The Rosetta Stone, seemingly lifeless, met those soldiers. They had no idea of its value. This encounter between an ancient artifact and chance soldiers became the key to deciphering Egyptian civilization. Thanks to it, Jean-François Champollion later cracked the hieroglyphs, opening a vast window into ancient history. Number 2. The enlightened engineer meets the needle, launching the age of antisepsis, mid-19th century. Surgery back then was a nightmare. Patients often died from post-op infections. Not the surgery itself. Doctors knew nothing about bacteria, blaming bad air or miasmas for disease. They didn't clean their tools. Joseph Lister, a British surgeon, read Louis Pasteur's work on germ theory and fermentation. A clash of ideas. Lister thought, if germs cause rot, could they cause wound infections? He stared at his surgical needle. This encounter between germ theory and surgical practice gave birth to antiseptic surgery. Eureka! Lister started using carbolic acid to sterilize tools and wounds. Post-surgery death rates plummeted. The meeting of a scientific theory and a medical tool transformed how we treat the sick. Number 1. The fateful meeting of love and war behind Europe's peace, 20th century. After 2 devastating world wars, Europe lay in ruins, steeped in hatred and division. War seemed endless. But then, Jean Monnet and and Robert Schuman, European leaders, met and hatched a bold idea: economic cooperation, specifically merging France and West Germany's coal and steel industries resources vital for war. This encounter between the idea of "we can't fight if we share resources" and political action birthed the European coal and steel community. It wasn't just an economic pact. It was a symbolic political act, turning enemies into partners. This laid the foundation for today's European Union, a bloc of peace and prosperity unlike any in history. Unbelievable! This encounter between visionary minds and a fierce desire for peace created a political miracle. Without that meeting and bold decision, Europe might still be trapped in a cycle of war. It's these wrong time, right people encounters that reshaped history, bringing peace and prosperity. See that? The world you live in was woven from the threads of these unexpected, fateful encounters. Stay open to new connections.